Howdy ho, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back to the Adventures of Suzerain. Sometimes in the middle of a battle, you don't know if you're winning or losing. I feel that's kind of where we are right now. Last time we gave a speech to the Grand National Assembly, after which we've gotten more signatures in support of trying to change the Constitution. Whether or not we got enough, well, we're not there yet, and I don't know if we're going to get there. I don't know if we're going to get to deal with that. We've got on the docket 2 reports, one about a privatization plan that might be healthcare. One about the general staff gathering, and then Penis Head wants to have a meeting with me. That's great. Let's start with the privatization plan. The Ministry of Health has finished a privatization proposal in order to increase the resources of the health system and to increase the quality of services through small-scale market competition. Additionally, the minister's report highlighted the weaknesses Sordland has when it comes to a potential epidemic. Minister Benewald reported that much more could be achieved through the healthcare system if the private sector could slightly assist by generating new revenue streams and adding new services. Alright, that's cool. And then, General Staff gathers. The General Staff has convened at the Ministry of Defense today to assess the security conditions of Sordland. More than 20 high-ranking officers were in attendance and discussed several war plans, the internal stability of the nation, and the overall state of the armed forces. Now, we have to be careful. Our nation has a history of military coups. Let's see what Penis Head wants. I arrived at the cubic building that housed most of the military command that resided in Holsword. The gray and brutalist structure looked haunting, daunting even. I never liked this building. It always made me feel like I was standing under the concrete foot of a giant, getting ready to crush me. It made me feel small, and I never quite got used to the feeling, even after this many years. At the entrance, I was greeted by Iosif and his military entourage of young officers. Once again, he is the Minister of Defense.
Welcome to the Ministry of Defense, Mr. President. Let's go to my office.
We walked from corridor to corridor to reach the office. On the way, we were met with high-ranking officers as well as privates. Every time one of these soldiers saw me, they stopped and saluted me. When we finally arrived at Iosif's office, his entourage saluted us and left. He closed the door and took a seat. Why isn't Vulcan here? Where's Vulcan? He's the, I don't remember. He's in charge of the army or some shit. He's the other high-ranking doobly dude. Where's Vulcan? He usually partakes in all military meetings.
Vulcan is busy at the moment, overseeing the defensive strategies against Rumberg.
That's very convenient if you ask me. He leaned back and interlocked his hands.
Diddly-dee. The situation with Rumberg is getting worse. And if it wasn't for our investments in the military, I would be even more concerned.
Your tone doesn't inspire confidence in our defensive capabilities, Iosif.
Our projected capability in the future should restore your confidence, but we need to pass several changes to achieve a better situation.
Like what kind of changes? Are we trying to consolidate power around you? Because I don't know if I'm going to like that.
Our efforts to restructure the military should prove beneficial in a potential conflict. We would never be able to match the force of Rumberg on equal terms. Therefore, our switch of the military to a smaller, well-equipped, and autonomously led combat units would provide better results in the field.
Yeah, I know. We already talked about this. We talked about this at the meeting with Vulcan, where I said, yeah, upgrade in that way. You know, you annoy me, Penis Head, but it seems like you've done a fantastic job, Iosif. The military seems to be in good hands.
I am doing my best to defend the country. There is nothing I care for more than Sordland!
Alright.
The recent military partnership we have signed with Ignoia increases our mutual defense clause.
I know, bro. I did that for all of us.
In case of conflict, we'll be obliged to come to each other's aid. In case of a Rumberg invasion, they will come for help.
Or vice versa, we'll come for them. I mean, go to help them. I'm not going to say it's a disgrace we have to rely on other nations. I worked my ass off to get that deal. Do you think their support would be enough to hold the line?
I don't think so. Mr. President, we need stronger allies.
Look, the only stronger ally, because Wayland's not going to be it after my meeting with them, the natural one would be Arcasia, but you don't like Arcasia. Not that I give a shit what you like.
Sure, Agnolia is better than nothing, but we must look further. Lesbia or Volksland are options, in my opinion.
Volksland is not, because they are enemies with Agnolia. Lesbia would make sense. That would make sense. Advice is noted. Iosif, I will bring it up with David.
Any deterrence should force them to think twice.
Hey, it makes sense for us medium-sized countries, or smaller, whatever you want to say, to kind of work together to defend ourselves. Iosif cleared his throat.
Let's move on to the main topic.
How was that the main... No, not the main topic.
The mandatory conscription law has become a matter of discussion, and we need to strike a decision whether to keep it or remove it.
Get rid of it. It hurts the military, get rid of it.
The facts are that the conscription gives us a large reservist pool that can cover a larger front line, but these troops lack the morale and the quality to be effective elements.
Yeah, I know. And it lowers national morale anyway, too.
It is the last step remaining to switch to a modern, professional armed force. Our restructuring is hindered by 100,000 of cadets extending our logistics, slowing command structure, and reducing the combat efficiency of our experienced units.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree with him, but should I say let's wait for Vulcan? So that Vulcan seems like he's included? Let's wait for Vulcan. I want to hear his opinion.
Mr. President, I don't think that's necessary. He won't become...
A strong knock on the door was heard, and the chief of the armed forces, Vulcan Kruger, walked in quickly with a frown. Kruger's been around long enough to see when somebody's trying to usurp his power.
What is the meaning of this, Iosif? Why haven't I been invited? What is going on here,
You are overstepping and interrupting a personal meeting between me and the President.
Vulcan deliberated the situation.
I see what's going on here. I mean no respect, but I'm leading the ground operations, and I must be informed of any strategic changes.
I don't know, man. Do I slam my dick in his face and point out that we're superiors? But I also think it is important that he knows, and I don't like Iosif trying to end around him. Vulcan has a point. The military needs to be on the same page on any changes. I'm still going to overrule Vulcan's desire.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're talking about our national defense, which must be consulted among all staff.
To clarify, we would have brought the subject up with the General Staff and you.
The matter is rather simple from my point of view. Our forces have gone large, structural changes changing, the operational capabilities and tactics. However, at the end of the day, Rumberg has a larger army, an air force and navy. Our conscripts will fill the much-needed weaknesses we have.
I don't share the same opinion. Throwing bodies at a problem never solved it. Not sure if this is the right approach.
We can't have less troops on the front line than the enemy. Not with our current structure focused on mass mobilization.
We've changed the focus, Vulcan.
I would ask you to consider.
We have already discussed this before. Remove mandatory conscription. It is time to have a professional force of willingly enlisted soldiers that will increase the quality of the military, that should increase the quality of the nation, as people who don't want to serve won't have to.
All right, then, we can move on. We also have to decide how exactly we spend our additional remaining funds in the military. In June, we decided to upgrade the equipment of our military. The military thanks the administration for the extensive support, especially in creating a modern fighting force.
Can you quit kissing my ass and just get to the point, bro?
We need to decide what branch we'd want to modernize more.
It's got to be the Air Force or the Army. I can't imagine that we're going to be a naval power. Which branch requires modernization the most? Actually, that's what we should probably find out.
Strategically speaking, the army would be the safest choice. However, the air and naval forces would do well with further modernization too. Which branch should we modernize?
Man, I want to say the Air Force so bad, because the Air Force is fucking cool. But the odds are if we were attacked, I don't know. Would we have a dominant Air Force? Because if not, then the Army. Then we got to get people who can dig in and fight it out. I'm going to... Oh, man. Shit. What do I pick? I guess we'll go with the Army. Our equipment's so out of date. This is the place that's probably needed the most. Modernize the Army.
As you wish. The changes will be implemented this month and finished at the end of November.
Thank you for listening.
Hey, you're welcome, Kruger, and I'm sorry I didn't go your way. I still appreciate your input. Thank you for your time, both of you. Thank you very much. I left the Ministry of Defense and returned to the Maroon Palace. Oh, so much is going on. Oh, shit. What do I look at first? I guess I'll start by going to the news. Fight against BFF continues in Bergia. So we already saw that where the governor wants to resettle people. I do not like that. The Holstered Post encourages the judiciary not to listen to the BFF propaganda and consider the governor's authority and the urgent need for security measures before making any decisions about striking down the resettlement order. Wait, the Holstered Post is supporting the resettlement? No, judiciary, set it down. Boys to men, not without conscription. The Holstered Post is complaining that we're not going to draft people anymore. They're not going to continue the brave tradition. They're afraid our boys won't become men without having to march together and shower together. Lockhaven Times, Governor Bergia issues resettlement order. Oh man, he did it. Not good. It sparked outrage amongst the Blutish population, as well as among the Workers' Party of Blutia. They have a right to be mad. That's fucked up. The governor's policy has been condemned as a violation of basic human rights and an attack on the Blutish community. The Blutish people are calling for their civil liberties and human rights to be respected and demanding an end to the governor's policies, which they believe are unfairly targeting them. They're right. We have to find a way to get rid of the governor's ability in the special zone to just arbitrarily make up laws they want. Kind of hope the Supreme Court strikes that law down. The radical special zone declares war on the Blutish people. Yep, we agree. Women march for equal education in Enrica. In the conservative stronghold of Enrica, protesters organized by the Sordish League of Women bravely called for gender parity in the classroom. Like us, these women hope that President Rayne will use his time in office to fix Sordland's notoriously sexist public education system and give young girls the university preparation they sorely need, as opposed to housewife training. A small group of counter-protesters were also present, but drowned out by the cries for equality. I'm trying to do that, but seeing as we don't have money for education, we're not having a lot of success. Freedom! Sordish boys no longer forced to fight. Somebody is happy, at least, that we're getting rid of the draft. One of Sordland's most backwards traditions has finally been reversed. As of now, young men are freed from the requirement to join the Sordish army upon coming of age. High school boys are rejoicing in their newfound ability to enter university or the career of their choice upon graduating. While military analysts point out that President Rayne's reversal of mandatory conscription will lead to a smaller but more professional army. It should help morale and the quality of the army. Hopefully that'll help us with our popularity. Right now we're not a popular president. This is a popular move. We're just happy that those many young students who don't align with the government's aims will now no longer be forced to fight for them. Yeah, I agree. I agreed. All good. And what do we got going on in the Codex? I'm not sure what changed here. We're the 5th largest standing military force. Maybe that changed. Maybe we were bigger before. In the military under situations. Green, modernized army. Before we had outdated equipment, we went from like red to grain. We do have a lack of reservists. We still have the military interfering with politics, but we've gotten rid of a lot of the problems we had with the military. After a significant modernization effort, the Swordfish Army has undergone major reforms and upgrades, enhancing its overall capabilities and making it a formidable force to reckon with. Thank God we were a bunch of hillbillies with old guns out there. The Army has received new and advanced equipment, including state-of-the-art weapons, communication systems, and vehicles, which have significantly improved its combat readiness and effectiveness. The Army's troops have also undergone rigorous training and have gained extensive experience through their participation in various international military exercises and operations. Probably with Agnolia, maybe with Arcasia, but definitely with Agnolia. So those are some good things. I'm a little leery about Iosif trying to do things behind Kruger's back. That doesn't bode well for the future. I hope they eventually get on the same page. Man, we've got to solve this issue here in Bergia. This is a major problem with the governor doing whatever the fuck he wants. Oh wait, is there something with Arcasia before we leave? Ado hails nuclear breakthrough. Advanced tech promises. Apparently they've made a breakthrough where they can make nuclear stuff smaller and safer. So you might be able to use it for power plants or on naval vessels. They might be able to make like nuclear powered subs. In the energy sector, this nuclear breakthrough could mean a cleaner and more plentiful source of power, helping to meet the escalating global demand for energy and addressing concerns about climate change. The Ado hopes this advancement will usher in a new era of sustainable growth and energy independence for its member nations. Maybe that's another reason for us to join Ado if we can get some new technology. Woot woot! What else do we got? Oh, there's so much shit. Enrica, this is where the Women's Right March happened. We just read about that. Bergia, this is where the resettlement order has happened by Felix Braun. We gotta find a way to undo that. I hope the courts do, otherwise we're going to have to. What do we got here? Ellery Air Base update. Arcasia has finished moving its planes to the early Air Force Base. As per terms of the new agreement, the Arcasian military is allowed to refuel and repair. They have access to both of those in the air base in exchange for providing logistical, financial, and equipment to support to Sordland. So that's right. So there's an air wing of Arcasia in our country right now, and we get aid and stuff for that. Cool, cool, cool. What do else we got going? Oh, a briefing on the economic situation. That's going to have to wait till next time, because that'll take a little bit. The economy has been stubbornly still in recession. Like, I feel like it's not going down as much as it was, but we're still not able to get the growth we want. There's some regions, specifically Bergia, and I think Agnolia. I don't know if Agnolia's gotten better yet. They're still doing really bad. Bergia is doing awful. England, I don't mean Agnolia, but England right next to it is doing poor. Hopefully England will do better now that we're trading with Agnolia right next to them. You can see Agnolia right there. There's our province of England, but we'll see. Things are getting better in some areas. Some places they are persistently crap yet. And we have the thing to deal with the central bank. So much to do. Hopefully some of it will be cool. See you in the future.